Hi, guys. Welcome to Organ India's podcast, New Beginnings, a one of its kind podcast on organ donation and transplant in India. I'm Prithvi, a student in grade 11th from Step by Step School, and today I've got a very special someone, my senior in school, Armaan Nanda, who has been through a roller coaster at a very young age and has come out stronger than
Hi
ever.
guys.
His father, Karhun Nanda, went through a heart transplant at the young age of 42. And today, Armaan is here to share his story of what it was like for him at such a young age to deal with. He's an inspiration for all of us. And so, without further ado, welcome Armaan again. And thanks for joining me today.
Lovely to be here.
Thanks for joining. So, how are your boards?
They've given us two boards this year. Hopefully, our
Yeah.
second boards will get cancelled, but
Hmm.
nobody can say anything.
Hmm. So, Armaan, you're in class 12 now. So, thanks for giving me your time. I know you don't have much time. I know you're really busy, but at the time your dad had the heart transplant, you would have been in class seven, right? Seven, six, something like that.
Yes, class 7.
Oh, cool. So, what exactly happened at the time? Your dad was young and athletic. What exactly went wrong?
So he actually, nothing went wrong. We still actually don't know why he had the heart attack initially.
Hmm.
There are multiple reasons. He was under quite a lot of stress. He runs a business, a software security business, and he used to smoke, but he had actually quit smoking when I was born. So he had quit smoking at about 25. So for 20 years he had not been smoking. But so on the day he had gone, it was a Sunday, 5th December, and he had gone for a football game, and he actually had a heart attack at the football field while playing football. He
Oh,
drove back himself to the house, and while he was cooling down and having having water, and so we were all sitting together, he had another heart attack in front of me,
oh
which is
God.
when we realized that something is wrong. And
Hmm.
so then my mum drove him actually to the hospital, to a nearby hospital called Ashlok, where we had a family doctor. The family doctor, figured out that shit, he's having a heart attack, and they then moved him to escorts. And Dr. Ashok Seth did surgery, did emergency surgery.
Oh, that's rough, man. Like, were you okay? What were you thinking at the time?
So obviously, my sister and I didn't know that it was a heart attack. I actually found out it was a heart attack because I overheard my mother talking to my grandmother. My grandmother obviously came to take care of us. We were not going
Hmm.
with him to the hospital and so on.
Yeah.
So I actually overheard my grandmother talking to my mother, saying it's a heart attack. Shit, this is what's happened. That's how I
Oh,
found out. And I had actually studied the day before, class 7, right? So as part of our
yeah.
syllabus, we were studying, how a heart attack
Hmm.
happens. And so, I mean, I sort of figured it out even before he went, that it's something with his heart, but it was
Hmm.
confirmed later.
So we often see, like sometimes parents just leave out the children when something is going like wrong in the family. Like for example, like there's a divorce or something. The parents wouldn't tell the children directly, like at such a young age. So sometimes they don't want the kids to get exposed to such incidents or to worry. So did your parents confide in you at all? Like how did they break the information to you? I mean, you said you already like had figured it out, right? So what was your reaction?
So the heart attack I had figured out. My
Yeah.
sister was totally oblivious. I mean, throughout it, she was very young. She was 11. I was
Yeah.
13. She was 11. So I mean, we were
Mm.
both very young, but she was especially young. So I
Mm.
mean, mom, dad kept her more out of the loop, and uh, me also. They only gave little bits of information. I think they were trying to protect me, and they didn't want me also to
Yeah.
now go through shit. They wanted me to focus on my studies and my school, and what's important. Yeah, I think they kept a lot from me, but I think I pretty close with my mother, so I knew that something was bothering her and
Yeah.
something was behind the
Mm.
curtain. So
Oh, yeah. So that's sweet. So, when they mentioned the word transplant to you, did you know what it was? Like, because the main goal of this
so
company, Organ India, is like to spread awareness about organ donation, right? And transplants and all that. So, were you aware of what organ donation was? Were you aware of what a heart transplant was?
so I knew there was something called organ donation, and I knew you could transplant, but I had no idea that you could actually transplant something as big as a heart. So it was a it was quite a discovery for us and my family. Being an educated, all of us are pretty educated. We've gone to good schools, we're all college graduates, and we still don't know what that a heart could be transplanted. So it was actually a wake up call that what are you doing? Why don't? And imagine if we didn't know that there's something called a heart transplant. Imagine the majority of Indians, how
Mhm.
um how clueless they might be, and that's why I think Organ India is doing an incredible job.
And so are you with your new page on Instagram, Donate Organs. Guys, if you're listening to this, please
Yeah, so
check
I
his
also have
Instagram
an
out.
NGO called Do Donate
Yeah.
Organs, and we spread awareness among the youth because I think that's who I how it's easier for me to relate to, and um, you know like that. So we have a website and an Instagram page, and we've had awareness sessions, and
And
yeah.
you were an intern at Organ India as well, right?
Yes, that's actually how I started it. So I interned at Organ India and found out
Oh.
how an NGO like that works and how you guys function, and how internally how it happens. And then I took it from there and used all the information I learned with Sunana ma'am taught me,
Mm-hmm.
and put it into my own initiative.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So if I'm not wrong, your parents were away in Chennai for months on end, and you were at home. How exactly did you manage the long distance, and how did you take care of yourself, especially at that young an age? Uh, I mean, it's quite hard to take care of yourself, or were you already used to taking care of yourself?
So I had I was not obviously used to taking care of myself. My parents are still extremely helicopter parents. They take care of
Um,
every need, and they spoon feed me to the end. But
yeah.
when they did go, I had support. My grandparents came to live, and I have my cousins just around the block. So thank God for my family. They really kept me busy. They took me out every weekend, made me not think about what's happening. They were very very kind, very supportive. But of course, I had to step into my own. I was the big brother. I was now, had to run the house, help with, a little bit with the cooking and the organization, and my sisters, my her football class and my this class, and doing all of the logistics of it, which I don't know, I've sort of came naturally to me, and I started enjoying the independence.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a little taste of adulthood before I was an adult. And I
Yeah.
think the most important thing for people going through this is to remain positive. My parents and my mother were very positive, or at least they made sure that I felt that they were positive. And that sort of trickled down, and because everybody was so sure that yes, he's going to have a transplant and he's going to be fine and he's going to come back, and it's not the end of the world, it's not the end of his life, and everything's going to be fine. It was that was just the whole sense of uh, of the feeling in the family that all of us were very, our belief was yes, that he's going to be fine and he's going to come back and this is just temporary and everything's going to be fine. And I think our generation's very into what's the word, when you write it down and you believe it, what's it called?
Oh, manifesting.
Yes, manifesting. So I think my family definitely manifested my dad's successful heart transplant. So I think
Oh,
the
cool.
positivity is something that I could not stress more about. It's really, really
Yeah.
important. And to find that thing that distracts you, or to find that hobby. I started running and cycling quite a lot every morning before school. I was up, getting exercise down, and exercise really helped me, get my mind straight and focus on what was important. I actually did my class 7 is when our school step by step gives our first exams. We give our first exams in class 8. So, I
Hmm.
actually handled my first exams myself with little
Oh my
help
God.
from mom. So,
Hmm.
yeah, so while they were away, so it was quite an experience. But I think the positivity was really, really helped me flourish and, continue at least my life in a sort of normal way. I think that
Hmm.
was important.
Yeah. Arman, bro, you mentioned waking up before school and running. I used to wake up before school and just sit in front of the heater. It was that cold. Especially, I mean, at least in
Yeah, you
winters.
ask me now, no way. I have no idea how I did it then, but
Uh,
I don't know. I just had to do it then. Today,
yeah.
you have to wake me up at 12 o'clock. I'm still not awake.
Same, man. It's really cold nowadays. I don't know what's wrong
And
with
even
us.
if
It's
you
like,
are awake, you just don't want to get out of bed.
yeah. That feeling of comfort is just something else.
Yeah.
So Arman, let's talk about your page on Instagram, Donate Organs. How did that come into being from the internship, right?
So yeah, I was very passionate about organ donation. Obviously, once I
Hmm.
learned about it, obviously, so I as a person, I'm a researcher. So like anything I do before that, I'd research the hell out of it. I'd know it upside down. So that's obviously
Yeah.
what I did. Inside out, upside down. That's obviously what I did with dad's transplant. So I accumulated a lot of information. And
Yeah.
after my 10th boards, I started donate organs once I had a little bit of time. This was piling up. What I wanted to do. I wanted to launch my own initiative and help the cause. And after my 10 boards, I started donate organs. And so my my aim was to help the youth, right, to raise awareness among my generation,
Yeah.
because we are, of course, the future. And it's easier. I think we communicate and our conversations are much more open than our parents are. So I'd hope that if I get the youth to talk about it, they would talk to their parents about it, and that's how we could spread organ donation. Because I think as a generation, we guys talk quite a lot of nonsense and can talk very openly, about sex, about drugs, about a lot of
Yeah.
things that our parents would be uncomfortable talking about.
Hmm.
So I think I sort of capitalized on that, and that was my aim. And so of course, Corona hit during the time, so everything went online. I did a few fundraisers with Organ India as well. I did I try to use things that are trending. So I don't know if you remember, Prithvi, in the first lockdown, everybody was growing beards in their hair. It was just the thing.
Yeah. I was
So
growing my
I
hair, but
actually did.
yeah. Sorry. I just need to point this out. When you say everybody was growing their beards and hair, you have to like, come on, man. I can't even grow facial hair yet.
So I did a weird beard and hair flip competition to raise
Mm.
money, and
Yeah, you
whoever had
did.
the
Yeah, now I
weirdest hair,
remember. You raised like forty
yeah. So
thousand
that's
or
how we
something like that. Yeah.
yeah we raised 50,000 rupees.
Okay.
Yeah, thank God.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, that's how. And then moved on from that, donated that to, of course, Organ India, and
Mm-hmm.
started raising more awareness even among my neighborhood. The kids at
Oh.
the park that I play with, my sister play with, I did with that, and went on like that.
Hmm. Yeah. So you were talking about, being more open with your parents about sex and drugs and all that, right? Bro, listen, man. If I see a movie, if I'm watching a movie with my parents and there's a kiss scene, I'll probably still cringe the hell out, man. It's really that. It's not. I really don't know what
It's
to say.
it's
Okay.
it's awkward. Agreed. It's very awkward watching
Yeah, it
intimate
is.
scenes with your parents. But my parents are really cool, man. They talk about everything. Like we really talk about everything.
Yeah, I mean, my parents are also cool about like the conversations. Okay, now I'm gonna get myself killed after this podcast. Anyways, but like movie scenes are just too cringe, if you know what I mean.
Agreed. 100%.
So, Arman, it's not very common that that someone at such a young age would go through all of this. What advice would you give children and parents who are going through something similar to this, like being away from your family
I
and
think, as I said before, just remain positive. That is the most important thing, hands
Mhm.
down. Life will get
Yeah.
better. It is very possible. There is a very high chance of, the patient having a successful transplant and leading a normal life. As you know, my father's now thrown himself back into his work. He was very passionate about his work. He also participates in the World Transplant Games, where he ran a 5K marathon. He's taken up he had to give up football obviously after the transplant, but he's taken up golf very seriously. He's been playing at an international level now. He's gone pro. He's actually today left to Jaipur for a tournament, a golf tournament. So
Mhm,
he's
nice.
taken that very seriously, and it's very possible to have a fit, normal, healthy, adventurous life after a transplant. And believe it and it will happen. Manifest it. Manifesting works.
That's amazing. So with that, guys, we've come to an end with today's session. Thank you so much, Aman, for taking out time for this interview. It really means a lot.
Thank you,
Also,
Prithvi,
guys,
for
I'd like to
launching
just
this amazing podcast.
oh, no problem. Also, guys, I'd like to say that it's always great to pledge to pledge to donate your organs after your death. One person can have the power to save multiple lives. Once again, thank you so much, Arman. And thanks, guys. That's it for today.